nouns. From the name or from the word countable. Countable. Something that can be counted. You know, if you go back to abstract nouns, you don't even see them. You cannot see them, you cannot touch them. How would you even generate or initiate the ideology in you that you can even count them? You have to keep them aside. You cannot count love. You cannot count hatred because you cannot see them and even touch them. This is where we can bring countable and uncountable noun into focus. Okay? Countable has to do with nouns that can be counted, as I have already mentioned. Concrete nouns can also suffice for this. For example, when we say pen, pen is a countable noun because you can say we have 1 pen, 2 pens, 3 pens, etc. You have chalk. You can count chalk too. It is a countable noun. You have television. Television is a countable noun too. So all these are countable nouns because you can count them. The opposite of countable nouns is uncountable nouns. As the word implies semantically, I mean by sense of meaning, uncountable. You cannot count them. Despite the fact that we can have nouns you can see and you can touch, but the possibility of them to be counted is where we are bringing our self into focus about. Okay? You can see them, you can touch them, but for you to count them would prove impossibility. And this is where we say, okay, do we have something like water? Yes, water is a concrete noun because we can see it and we can touch it. Okay? But you cannot count water. You cannot count water. Just take a spoon and fetch water using that spoon. Count it. It's just going to prove you a lunatic because there is madness in the intention to even count what we call water. You talk of salt. You cannot count it. You talk of liquid. You cannot count it. Oil. You cannot count it. Sugar. Sugar. You cannot count it. Okay. These are what we call uncountable nouns. I think from what we've done, we've looked at what types of noun are. And with this, I think at least we've picked something to go home with it or to sleep with it. In our minds that we can just do some analysis trying to drive out based on classifications and how contextual effect assumes this classification process of some words to be called nouns in our language or English language sentences. Thank you for viewing, and don't forget to be with me in discussion again on adjectives. The reason is simply because adjectives have relationship with nouns in English language, and this is why we have to talk about them. Thank you and happy viewing.